everybody, welcome back to Travel with the Gaggle. My name's Elise, and today we're going to be talking about the first family trip that I took with my two small children. Well, when they were small, now they're big. And how that went. This is super special because it was a big deal because taking my son, who is significantly affected by autism and is nonverbal, out of his everyday routine was a huge risk. And I think all in all, it paid off. So if this is something that you're interested in hearing about, keep watching. Our family chose to go to Storyland in Glen, New Hampshire. It is very well known for being family friendly, specifically towards younger children. They have some wonderful policies regarding people with special needs that we made sure to take advantage of, and I'll talk a little bit about that more later. And on top of Storyland, we also ended up staying at the Red Jacket Mountain View Resort, which I think is technically in Conway, but it's really close to where Storyland is, so there was not a big commute from one to the other. I do want to point out, I think 30 people watch this video at this point. This is not a sponsored video. So all of these opinions are mine. No one's paying me to tell you about them. So Storyland wants to hit me up, shoot me a message. So when planning the first trip, I had found on Facebook through Autism Speaks of Northern New England that they were offering a promotional offer, and my family took advantage of that. So that offer included tickets to Storyland for everyone in our party on a special day. So it was their autism day. It was really wonderful because on this autism day, the music that is piped through the park was either lowered or off. It was significantly less noisy than typical. It was not as crowded. There were shaded break areas. It was just really nice. And also, it was nice to know that the majority of people that were there that day were probably there for the Autism Day, and it just felt less socially nerve-wracking, if that makes sense. That's something that back in the early days I used to be very cognizant of. It doesn't bother me as much now, but I used to worry about what it might look like if things went wrong in a public place and how people who I don't know maybe would judge me. I don't worry about it anymore, but if it's something that concerns you, I would definitely recommend checking out a park, a playground, a trampoline park, Chuck E. Cheese, whatever it is, on a day that they're offering a specific autism event, because your ease of mind and you feeling comfortable, your child will pick up on that, and it just makes the day more enjoyable for everybody. On top of the park tickets, we also received a discounted rate at the Red Jacket Mountain View Lodge Resort. This was wonderful because of a few things. One, they have an indoor water park. It's called Kahuna Laguna, and to this day, I think when we went, Jeremiah was around 3. He uses his communication device to ask for Kahuna Laguna, and we've been since too, but this kid loves Kahuna Laguna. So Kahuna Laguna is in the resort, and we knew that for a small fee, we could pay to go to the indoor water park on the day we were checking out. It made it affordable for our family and less of a financial risk in making sure that everything went well. I also want to point out quickly a few other tidbits. One, we brought the majority of our own food, both for while we were at the park as well as while we were staying at the Red Jacket. That was nice for us because the kids were really small at the time and their food likings were very minimal. So there was really no need to take them to expensive restaurants to order chicken fingers or nuggets or whatever it was that they would have wanted. It was really nice to not have to spend money on the park food too. We also had some friends join us, which honestly, in my opinion, became the largest blessing, for lack of a better word, out of the entire experience. It became an annual tradition, and to this day, we still talk about what our next adventure will be, bringing our families together and where we would go. It was really nice, too, to have that extra support, to know that the amount of adults at that point outnumbered the amount of small children. So there were more adult hands to run after all those little tiny legs, which just helped ease our minds. We had a really wonderful time together, and it was nice to have that added adult conversation in between wrangling those little knee knockers. Also, Storyland has its own policies regarding people waiting in line that have special needs. When you walk into the park, it's important to go right to the information desk and let them know that someone in your party maybe is not going to do well waiting in lines, can't stand for long periods of time, whatever the concern is for your person. For Jeremiah, it was he may not tolerate being in a small enclosed line or line queue for an extended period of time, and it wouldn't do well having a ton of people kind of in his personal bubble. So they gave us a special pass that allowed us to show the ride attendant and for him and the party to essentially bypass the line. Now, we received the pass, but we didn't use it. And I think this was actually really important. So for our family and our traveling journey, the ultimate goal was to get to Disney World. Disney World, as most people know, is notorious for having some of the longest wait times that you could have to get onto a ride. And the goal was to get Jeremiah ready for that. So we had the pass. We had the pass in the event that we needed the pass. But we just waited in line like everybody else. And when we got on the ride, we got on the ride and we rode the ride and we had such a lovely time. What was really nice about this is that as a family and our extended family of friends, we were able to teach Jeremiah that part of the process of going to an amusement park is you have to wait calmly in a line before it's your turn. Now, if that didn't go well, we very quickly would have whipped out that pass, handed it to the ride attendant, and gotten on the ride. There's no reason that Jeremiah shouldn't be able to enjoy all the same things as a typically developing person because of potential limitations with his diagnosis. But he did it, he was successful, and to this day, and I'll talk about this when I talk about other trips that we've taken, we wait in line. And for the most part, we are crazy successful. We were very unsuccessful waiting in line at a Disney ride though, and I am dreading and very excited to tell you that story in an upcoming video. So you're probably wondering, how did it go? Well, I am happy to report that I feel it was as successful as it could have been. Poor Jeremiah. So here's what happened. We got there, we had a lovely morning at Storyland. We had so much fun on the rides and seeing the attractions, playing in fountains. And then he did something that to this day he still really never does. He cuddled in my lap and stayed there for a long time. The poor guy got sick on our first trip. So we ended up not staying at Storyland for the entire time. We went back to the Red Jacket Resort. He was so exhausted that he fell asleep in a not normal room, in a not normal bed, because he really didn't feel good. Thank you so much to the housekeeping staff at the Red Jacket Mountain View Resort, because we called on you multiple times during the night to help us clean up some pretty horrible messes. Again, this is not a sponsored video. They went above and beyond. So we made it through the night. The next day he seemed to be at least baseline better with no fever. We attempted the Kahuna Laguna water park and he was the happiest I think I've ever seen him in his whole life, maybe to this day, because they have a wave pool. Now, he is a good swimmer. He doesn't look like a good swimmer because he kind of does it in his own way. I do suggest letting lifeguards know your situation. I'll talk about that in an upcoming video as well. Why I think that's a good tip. Yeah. So, overall, all in all, at the end of the day, was our first trip as a traveling family successful? Yes. Would I go back to Storyland and Mountain View Lodge Resort? Yes, and we did. Multiple times, actually. We had a wonderful time. Did I learn from that trip? 110%, you bet. I learned so much, and I really hope that you learned along with me as I let you join us on our little trip. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you got anything out of it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. It really means the world to us. Comment below what you would like to do on your first trip with your kiddos, or where your first trip with your kiddos was. I'd love to see other people's adventures. Please stay tuned. Our next video, we're going to switch things up a little bit, and I'm actually going to be discussing how flying went when we went to Disney World with Jeremiah and his sister Kara. There's gonna be a lot of tips that you don't wanna miss. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye.